Motherland has arrived, and fortunately I am Superman of Doom. The people of the Motherland have come, fortunately I am Superman of Doomsday Chapter 67. But as if validating Morgan's words, the elevator that Ben descended at great speed, suddenly slowed down, quickly stopped very smoothly, and resumed the normal opening of the elevator door. Outside the elevator portal, is the second floor of the building. Dabai hugged Morgan and rolled out of the elevator directly, and Mei also followed out in a daze. At the next moment when the two left the elevator car, the bottom of the elevator car was suddenly torn apart by a green claw, and a 2-meter giant green lizard monster jumped into the elevator. Surrounded by a wild and violent aura. Unfortunately, it only appeared for less than a second, and it was too late to show the hideous hunting form of teeth and claws. A tall white figure blurred through the top of the elevator car, and the vibranium fist materialized and quickly swung down, and the fist pressure caused the strong wind to stir away, knocking the green lizard monster down to the bottom of the elevator tunnel. Ang! The lizardman trapped in the floor at the bottom of the tunnel roared lowly, and the wounded and bloody green skin surface of his body was quickly healing itself. And he struggled violently and wildly and wanted to continue to get up and fight. Outcome. At the next moment when the lizard monster opened its mouth and roared, a scorching white laser beam submerged into its mouth from top to bottom, completely penetrating the lizardman's jaw and body. Ang! The lizard monster's low roar stopped abruptly, and even it couldn't ignore the fatal injury, so it fell straight back, losing all its vitality at once. Sandman, Lizardmen, 2 supervillains from other Spider-Man multi-world are dead. And from the arrival of the White Illusion Dream to the end of the battle, it did not take more than a minute. 0076 Leon War Villain, successful. Mei was in the second floor corridor, dumbfounded. Ahead. In the elevator car that was completely scrapped and broken at the bottom of the elevator, a tall white mechanical figure was suspended inside. The silver-white cloak draped behind the shoulders fluttered gently, and the forehead chip stopped the release of the laser beam. At the bottom of the tunnel below, the lizard monster's furious low roar also stopped, and there was silence inside and outside the elevator. The white mechanical presence turned around, and the electronic eyes flashed red, looking at the little lowly held in the arms of Dabai outside the elevator car. I won't let you hurt her. Mei was terrified, and although she knew that the other party was extremely powerful, she forcibly stood up from the ground and blocked Morgan. Morgan also seemed to be afraid, constantly struggling, trying to break free from Dabai's arms. But the medical inflatable robot Dabai seemed to be broken, maintaining a hugging posture, and stuck Morgan tightly in the soft embrace. The white mechanical existence looked at Lori like this, and the cold and emotionless electronic eyes seemed to flash a trace of human emotion. And then looked up in the direction of the 16th floor. Its body turned from reality to fiction little by little, like a virtual creation that did not exist in the world, accelerated through the top of the elevator car, and quickly disappeared from the field of view of Mei and Morgan. Not long after it left, Dabai's inflatable hands also loosened and lost intelligent manipulation. Nope. Morgan rushed towards the elevator and was quickly stopped by Mei. Morgan, it's dangerous. Mei hugged the little lowly and said urgently. Morgan, who has always been well-behaved and sensible, constantly struggled with his petite body, his big eyes were shiny, and he whimpered, "What do you understand? How could he hurt me, but…" By changing the atomic density of the white illusion vibranium body, Yimon blurs through the wall and constantly rushes towards the location of the advanced maker machine. The second floor camera that was maintained transmitted real-time video, and a familiar picture of the little lowly appeared in his mind, and the corners of Bai Mirage Yiming's mouth quietly rose. Morgan, it grew up in a few days. Not only went to MIT to study, but also made Dabai, a medical robot that he used to casually mention. In this way, even if you are alone, sooner or later you can grow to the height of a superhero. Meng thought to himself. Morgan, we'll see you again later, but not now. White illusion vision Yiming's eyes flashed red, extremely fast, and the blurred body flew to the 16th floor. Just arrived on the 16th floor. White vision Meng saw that Spider-Man was fiercely scuffling with the Green Goblin Norman, while Dr. Octopus next to him was grappling with his 4 mechanical claws. What kind of extraordinary combat is this? In order to avoid these villains from other worlds, hurt Morgan, who is downstairs as an anchor for Marvel's dreams. White illusion Meng did not intervene in the battle, but his mind moved. And a wisp of red virtual static electricity immediately disappeared into the control center chip worn by Dr. Octopus's neck. The next moment, the 4 runaway mechanical claws that were originally entangled with Dr. Octopus, one of which suddenly deflected the direction of attack without warning, and fiercely plunged into the back of the middle-aged gentleman who wrestled with Spider-Man on the side. Green Goblin Norman was obviously defenseless against this, only listening to the snort, and blood directly splashed Spider-Man's face. The 3 people in the battle were stunned at the same time and stopped all movements. Visible. At this time, Spider-Man Peter Parker was lying on the floor of the corridor, Green Goblin Norman was riding on Spider-Man, strangling his neck. And a mechanical claw was inserted from the back of the Green Goblin and penetrated through the Green Goblin's chest. Dr. Octopus is also entangled with 3 other runaway mechanical claws. Tick. Blood-stained Spider-Man, Norman the Green Goblin, and Dr. Octopus at the same time. Otto. You. Green Goblin Norman looked down, glanced at the mechanical claws that burst out of the chest, and looked at Dr. Octopus behind him with an expression of disbelief. Norman. It's not me, it's really not me. Dr. Octopus was also dumbfounded, his eyes dull under the sunglasses. Spider-Man was even more wooden, lying in the corridor in a daze, his vision dyed bloody, and the smelly air made him feel suffocated. By Mirage Yimeng, who had completed all this, did not feel anything about this, and directly blurred and rushed into the apartment room. Don't say that the world here is just a dream for him, even if it is the real world, he doesn't mind sending these villains to God. After all, God may be able to forgive them. Shout. White Vision Yimeng rushes into the apartment house where Happy and May live, and sees a production table with its own virtual screen being activated. The large production table is marked with the Stark Industries logo, powered by the new element energy groove of the steel suit, which is obviously the Stark Maker machine, through which Morgan can create a medical robot White. In front of the advanced production table, there was already a black man wearing charging technology armor. It doesn't matter who you are. In short, you are one step late. Quote. Sensing the intrusion of White Vision Yimeng. It's mine. A sharp blue electric light flashed in the eyes of the electric light man. And he quickly reached out and took down the new elemental energy slot of the crafting table and installed it on the charging technology armor on his body. When the new elemental energy groove of the steel suit merged with the body of the electric light man, an amazing energy aura suddenly emerged. By Mirage Yimeng watched this scene and couldn't help but stop at the door of the room. Ha 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 ha, what an abundance of energy. The electric light man was excited, constantly absorbing the energy of the new element energy tank, so that his eyes and body surface were constantly overflowing with abundant and powerful white electric light. Just test you and give me death. The electric light man suddenly raised his hands and pressed down towards the door of the room, and suddenly a thick burning white electric light burst out, directly submerging the white mechanical existence. Moisture. The scorching white electric light is like a huge wave that overwhelms everything, destroying all the walls and furniture outside the doorway, until you can see the night view of the city at the other end of the apartment building. Awesome. This is also too powerful. The electric light man was stunned and more excited. In this way, isn't he invincible? No matter this world, or the original world. But at this time, a cold and mechanical word came into his ear from behind him. That's it. It can't be. The dark face of the electric light man froze, and he subconsciously looked back, but a white manipulator had blurred through the body and armor, removing the new elemental energy groove embedded in the charging armor on the chest. Nope. Give me back. Quote. The electric light man felt the interruption of the supply of the huge energy source, and couldn't help but crack his eyes, and wanted to launch the electric light, but saw that the white illusion Yimeng's body also gushed out of burning white electric light. Give it back to you. With the ability of the mind gem fragment, White Vision Yimeng lightly tapped 2 fingers on the back of the electric man's head, and the energy absorbed by the vibranium body was also released. Poof! Almost exactly the same powerful burning white electric light as before, surging from the white mechanical fingertips poured into the brain of the electric light person. The electric light body paused, and the back of the head exploded from the inside out, turning into a blue electric light virtual brain, but it was gently split by the yellow shattered light. The burning white electric light continued to go down the body, splitting the electrocuted body of the electric light man. Moisture. The raging white electric light erupted outward, annihilating the entire body of the electric light man, and continued to sweep the entire room outward. And the piercing white light made the downtown area of New York bright as day in an instant. White Vision Yimeng made a timely move to save the Maker's machine, lest it be destroyed by himself in the end. After winning the battle, Yimeng did not stop, turning the manufacturers closed into a large metal box. Chapter 1 Previous Chapter 67 140th Next chapter Table of Contents